Hello, Class 4-3. Mr. Waterman here with the final language arts lesson of the school year on Friday, March 19th, 2021. And I hope everyone is doing safe and well. Once again, we are in period 3. This is the last language arts video of the year. This is your last day as a grade 4 student. Congratulations. You all have done very well considering the year that we have had because of COVID and online lessons and coming to school and school closing and back to online lessons and so on and so on and so on. It has been an extraordinary year for all of you. It's been an extraordinary year for all of your teachers, for all of us working together, doing the best that we can. So I do appreciate your hard work, your effort, the time that you have taken to watching the videos, answering questions online, asking questions. So, hopefully things will get better very, very soon, and we can only be at school face to face with each other. With that said, I'm going to go over the activities that we started yesterday on pages 181 and 182 before going into today's test about prepositions on pages 183 and 184. Okay. Now, yesterday, we learned and reviewed, really, that we use quotation marks at the beginning and end of a person's exact words. We begin a quotation with a capital letter. We begin a new paragraph each time a new person speaks. Now, what I did yesterday as I went through the activity with you is I added certain phrases so you knew who was speaking. So to just make it a little bit more clear for you, okay? Now, we left off at his father answered. So now we are starting with okay. That needs to be a capital O. Okay, Papa. What else? And I'm going to add asked Rashid. Okay. Oh, that is a little too close together. Let's rewrite that again. There we go. And then I'll put in my quotation marks. Well, capital W, your grandmother used to open a little space in the middle of the plane for air to travel through. Now, we need a capital N. Let's see what happens. And I'm going to add said Papa. And yesterday, why did I write that Papa? That second P capital. That should be a small p. Okay. So now that I've added that, I can put in my end quotation marks here. And finally, Hey, it's flying. Hey, it's flying, Papa. And I'll put my in quotation marks in. Yelled Rashid. And that's it. Our proofreading activity is complete. Okay, once you have checked all of your answers, please turn to page 182. So this was a proofreading activity where we had to read the interview below and we had to rewrite each line by switching the preposition in each underlined phrase with the correct one from another sentence. Now you can use some of the prepositions more than once because some just work better than others. Okay, so we did numbers 1 and 2 together. For number 3, what is your job to the space shuttle? You can change that to, what is your job in the space shuttle? Okay. Number 4. I help the other crew members with repairs from the ship. Okay, and you can change that to, I help the other crew members with repairs for the ship. Number 5. What can kids learn for exploring space? Let's change that to, what can kids learn from exploring space? Number 6. Exploring space can help kids above their science and math classes. We're going to change that to, exploring space can help kids with their science and math classes. Number 7, do you have any advice in our audience? And we'll change that to, do you have any advice for our audience? And finally, number 8. Yes, there is a whole world with you kids. Discover it. Yes. There is a whole world for you kids. Discover it. That sounds like very good advice. There you go. And these are the answers for page 182. Once you've checked everything, please turn to page 183 for the test. The final language arts test in grade 4. Prepositions and prepositional phrases. So before you take this test, please go back and review the points on pages 179 and 180. Listen very carefully as I go through the parts, and listen very carefully as I read each sentence. Part A. Complete each sentence below by writing the missing preposition. 1. Papa tossed the flying machine blank the air. 2. Ruchlin and Lauren looked down blank Orv and Will's new hobby. 3. Will sold kites to the other kids blank school. 4. Orv and Will built their first craft blank the bicycle shop. 5. However, the flyer was so big they had to build it blank the shop. 6. They tacked their plans blank the wall. 7. He hopped blank the plane's body. Now remember, you can have more than one preposition that will work in these blanks. For part B, underline the prepositional phrase in each of the sentences below. 8. Orv and Will took weeks preparing for their first flight. 9. On December 14th, 1903, the flyer rattled down the track. 10. Will flew the aircraft 15 feet above ground. 11. Orv watched the flight from the ground below. 12. One day, human beings would fly around the world. 13. They kept the plans in a safe place. 14. The crowd stood in place. 15. The plane stayed above the ground. Once you have finished page 183, please turn to page 184 for the last part of the test. Please remember, a preposition comes before a noun or pronoun and relates that noun or pronoun to another word in a sentence. Also remember, a prepositional phrase is a group of words that begins with a preposition and ends with a noun or pronoun. So remember to go back and review your pages, right? Remember the mechanics. Begin the greeting and closing in a letter with a capital letter. Use a comma after the greeting and the closing in a letter. Use a comma between the names of a city and a state. And the last one, use a comma between the day and year in a date. So all this should be review for you guys. For the last part, directions. Add capital letters, commas, and prepositions to correct and complete this letter. Please listen as I read through. The address, 6848 Marigold Drive, Columbus, Ohio, 43221. December 14th, 2006. So we are missing commas in the address. Dear Grandpa, thank you, blank, the cookies. How did you shape them, blank, airplanes? I told all my friends how my great-great-grandma saw the Wright brothers fly. They didn't believe me, but I know it's the truth. I hope you come visit us soon. Maybe Scott or Spot can come blank you. Love, Tolu. Okay, so go through and fix all of the capital letters, commas, and add the prepositions. Okay, so that's it for the test, students. Now, since we finished on page 184, and the last page of this workbook is 192, I think I mentioned this to you at school last week, you can do the last pages as your spring vacation homework. Now, the last unit we were going to do, but we didn't get to, that starts on page 185, is combining sentences with prepositional phrases. Okay? So I'll just go through one point. Two sentences can be combined by adding a prepositional phrase to one sentence. So we've talked about combining sentences before, right? For the directions, it says, combine the pairs of sentences below by using the prepositional phrase from the second sentence. Then underline the prepositional phrase. Okay? I'll show you how to do this. Number one, for example, today our class went bird watching. We were at the park. Okay? So we can combine these two easily doing it this way. Today, our class went bird watching at the park. Okay? At the park is our prepositional phrase. So we'll just underline that. Okay? And that's how you combine the sentences. That is what you will do for the last unit. Okay? And then on the very last two pages, the last two pages, pages 191 and 192, that's our unit review. Okay, so that's everything we have done with adverbs. And that's it. All right, students. Well, we've had 1 year together. It wasn't the most ideal year, but I know you have learned a lot in many of your classes. You definitely left my classroom learning a lot this year. And I learned a lot about each of you too. I taught my entire homeroom, all of you, 4-3. I taught you for math, and I taught some of you for language arts. Next year, I might teach some of you language arts again, but I will be teaching all of you in mathematics class. So I will see you in mathematics. Take care, stay safe, be well. Have a wonderful spring holiday, and hope to see you all in the new school year. That's it. Bye-bye for now.